MAGA Mike Johnson is panicking as a member of the Republican Party has now switched parties as the entire Republican Party is swirling the drain. MAGA Republican Congressmember Kevin Kiley of California will now become an independent. This will now make the House as the following: 217 Republicans, 214 Democrats, 1 independent. Kiley says he will still be caucusing with the GOP. The last independent in the House was Representative Justin Amash, as Jamie Dupree points out, of Michigan, who switched over from the GOP in 2019. Now, Kiley announced he's leaving the GOP immediately after the response to Texas's gerrymandering and California's ability to respond with creating 5 congressional seats that could turn Democratic. One of those seats was Kiley's. He started panicking and saying, oh, this is unfair. The gerrymandering right now is the fault of Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom is the one who did it. Let's blame him. No, Donald Trump did it. And Donald Trump tried to gerrymander the country. And like everything with Donald Trump, it backfired in his face when Democrats used their moral authority and formal authority to push back. Now, in a little bit, I will be showing you as well, it's not just this MAGA Republican Congress member who has switched over to become an independent because he thinks he has no chance of winning unless he's an independent, but he's definitely going to lose as an independent as well. You have all of these MAGA Republican podcasters as well who are out there just trashing Donald Trump in the most clear and pinpointed of terms. Like you got this guy, Owen Schroyer, MAGA Republican Trumper, says the only thing left of MAGA right now, and he's talking about Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson and this remaining crew I'm going to talk about in a moment. He goes, we call them now the cuck-servatives and the neocons. This has really become a cult. Yeah, that's what we've been saying for a very long time. Other kind of very far right-wing streamers and people like this guy Sneeko are out there saying Donald Trump was wearing a freaking baseball cap during the dignified transfer ceremony where our troops who died in this war came home in these caskets wrapped in the American flag, and Trump didn't even have the respect to take off his baseball cap. Whether it's Candace Owens, whether it is Tucker Carlson, these Republican and MAGA podcasters are saying enough is enough. Now, let me show you. I guess this is the cuck conservative part of whatever they're calling it right here. So MAGA Mike shuts down Congress. I reported on this yesterday, right? So the House of Representatives is not even working right now. They're not even showing up for work, right? While the United States of America is in a war right now against Iran, as Donald Trump tries to manipulate the markets and say, oh, I think we're going to lean towards ending this war soon. And then once the markets close, he's like, no, we're going to get them, and then you have Lindsey Graham out there. We're going to bomb the hell out of you. God bless Israel. I wish Israel, whatever Lindsey Graham was like. I did a whole other video on that. I want you to just watch what went down in Doral, Florida. Just play this B-roll right here. Donald Trump made the MAGA Republican leadership clap in front of him for 1 minute and 30 seconds or more. I think this lasted like 2 minutes. And Donald Trump just stood there as he made them clap for him. And Donald Trump just starts looking left, looking right, as you have like Tom Emmer and MAGA Mike Johnson and Congresswoman McClain and Steve Scalise, and they have to clap for him. And Donald Trump just stands there and like basks in their clapping. I mean, do you see what's going on right now? Are you watching what I'm putting on the screen right now? This is what the MAGA Republicans, keep watching it. This is what the MAGA Republicans were doing yesterday while America is at war right now with Iran as our economy is crashing. As Donald Trump, this is what they're doing right here. All right. You see, by the way, I could keep showing this B-roll now for another minute and they would still be doing the same thing. How utterly humiliating is that? Back to the MAGA Republican who's switching parties to become an independent. Here's Kevin Kiley describing why he is doing this. He goes, gerrymandering is a plague on democracy that Gavin Newsom started. Let's be very clear. Gavin Newsom responded to what went down in Texas. This was Trump, MAGA Mike, Greg Abbott's plan. Now, Democrats support removing partisan gerrymandering. Democrats have tried to literally put a bill that would ban all of gerrymandering. Republicans blocked it. That's just a fact. So stop with the gaslighting, Kylie. Here, play this clip.
Gerrymandering is a plague on democracy, one that Gavin Newsom has brought back to California. But there's a way we can fight back and protect our democracy from his partisan games by removing partisanship from the equation. Today, I've just filed for re-election as no party preference. This means I will not have a party affiliation on the ballot or as an office holder. That's how it already is with most offices in our state. Mayors, city councilors, school board members, county supervisors, sheriffs, and DAs are all nonpartisan. As an elected representative, I've always seen my role as being an independent voice for our community, holding politicians in Sacramento and Washington accountable to serve my constituents. I answer to you, not party leaders. And that's the kind of representation I believe the newly drawn 6th district deserves. Now, it's no secret that I've been frustrated, at times disgusted, by the hyper-partisanship in Congress. In the last year, it's led to the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, a massive increase in healthcare costs, and of course, a pointless redistricting war. The epidemic of gerrymandering has spread from Texas to California to states all across the country. Both parties are complicit. If there's one thing Americans can agree on, it is that political division has become a serious problem for our country. We need to find ways for politics to bring us together as Americans rather than tear us apart as partisans. That means, for example, finding pragmatic solutions to make life more affordable, rather than each side blaming the other for why it isn't. We are also living in a moment of dramatic transformation, where technological change could bring incredible opportunities along with unfamiliar risks and dislocations. The ordinary rituals of partisan politics are simply inadequate in these extraordinary times, are simply incapable of meeting this generational challenge. Our ability to work as one team, serving all Americans, is now more important than ever.
I just had to show you that so you can see how pathetic he is. Back to MAGA Mike Johnson at that Doral, Florida event. It's at Trump's resort. So Trump makes the MAGA Republicans not just clap for him, but pay tribute to him to enrich him. And Trump jacks up the prices, I believe, at his properties when he does events like this as well. So they all stay there. And then he makes them say the weirdest things about him. Like you have MAGA Mike Johnson saying, Donald Trump is the most active president, the healthiest president. Donald J. Trump never sleeps. He's a perfect specimen. I kid you not. So when MAGA Mike Johnson says, what the hell is this? Seriously, what the hell is this? As the United States right now is at war, as our taxpayer dollars are going to bombing elementary schools, and the Trump regime is murdering 150 little girls while they cover up the child sex trafficking ring in the Epstein files of the abuse of little girls. This predator Trump regime is stealing our taxpayer dollars for that. And MAGA Mike's just says he's so healthy. Here, play this clip.
The leadership of the gentleman that I'll introduce to you in a moment. He is the most active president, the most energized president, the most successful president, I believe, in my lifetime. And he's proven it over and over and over. And part of it is because he doesn't sleep, thankfully. He's got so much to do. And I know that because I get calls from him at 2 a.m. and 7 a.m., sometimes in the same day. He doesn't require a lot of sleep, thankfully, and he is the man for the moment.
More from MAGA Mike right here says, everybody, this is the golden age. You are all living through the golden age. We're not living in a golden age. People can't afford a home right now. They can't afford their rent. No one can afford groceries, MAGA Mike. Y'all have ripped away people's health care right now. You're supporting pesticides in our food supply. You are out there ripping away people's jobs. We're in a jobs recession. What are you talking about? Here, play this clip.
When we were here just last year, We were talking about being on the edge, on the verge of the dawn of a new golden era in America. And my friends, that is exactly what we are in the middle of now, the new golden era, new golden age.
But MAGA Mike wants everyone to know that Donald Trump's achievements are incalculable and the best is already here. That's what MAGA Mike says. Play this clip.
His achievements are incalculable. History will record that this president came at exactly the right time. On the eve of the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation in the history of the world, the most free, most successful, most powerful, most benevolent nation that has ever been. And we understand, and he understands that it's not guaranteed. He understands that we have to fight for it every single day, and he does that every single day.
All right, MAGA Mike, let's take a look at some of the polling right here. Gas prices, 67% of Americans say will get worse. Only 11% say will get better based on the latest Ipsos poll. According to the latest Ipsos poll, has Trump clearly explained U.S. goals in Iran? 66% no, only 34% yes. Approval of strikes on Iran, only 29% of Americans approve. Generic ballot polling from a right-wing pollster Signal, Democrats up 5 in a Republican pollster. Support for ground troops in Iran. 74% of Americans oppose, 20% support. That's the latest Quinnipiac poll. Donald Trump's approval rating in the latest Quinnipiac poll, 37%, right? I could go on, but Trump's numbers are just utterly disastrous. Meanwhile, you've got MAGA Republican Congress member Tom Emmer still won't call Donald Trump's war a war, but instead calls it a short-term experience. This is just a short-term experience, everybody. Here, play this clip.
I believe it is already being extremely successful, and I believe it'll be over in short order.
That would be obviously the best case scenario, over in short order, because if the GOP had a problem, or if it was trying to address affordability, and the president addressing that with oil over $100, that suddenly it becomes, the war in Iran, as well as what happens domestically with prices.
Yeah, yesterday I think a barrel of oil was at $105. So your point's well taken. But as the president has said, this is a short-term experience. This is a short-term cost to literally deal with the chief sponsor of terrorism.
Then you have Carlos Jimenez, MAGA Republican Congress member from Florida, who says, you know what? You got to pay the price. You watching this at home, this is the price that you pay for the greatness that's going to come from going to war with Iran. This is the greatness that we will pay the price, because this is going to be great, he says. Here, play this clip.
The president says it could take 4 to 6 weeks. If it takes that long, presumably the price of oil is going to stay up there, and our gas prices are going to stay up there as well. The president may take a political hit from this.
Look, you got to pay the price. I mean, in order to have long-term stability in oil and long-term stability not only in the Middle East but around the world, you got to pay the price. And if it takes 4 weeks, then so be it. If it takes a little bit longer, then so be it. But we have to finish this job. And once you started this job, you need to finish it. We never want to see a nuclear-armed Iran, and we want to stop, Iran from being the biggest state sponsor of terrorism around the world, killing Americans, killing innocent people all the time, all for the last 47 years. And so if you want to end it once and for all, you have to make sure that we have a free and democratic Iran once this war is over.
What are these people even talking about? Then you have Tim Burchett, MAGA Republican Congress member, who now says, as the price of gas skyrocketing, he goes, the price of gas, it's a scam, everybody. It's one big scam. Here, play this clip.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett just filled up the dually with diesel yesterday. I decided to do that instead of sending my daughter to school next year. But the reality is, they're ripping us off. Diesel is like the second cut they take off it when it comes out of the ground. I think it goes kerosene and diesel and then gasoline, and diesel is the most expensive. And I'm sure they can make they'll bring out the economic experts, to cover themselves on that. Another thing that really ticks me off about it is that they've when the price of oil, like they say, well, it's this whatever happens overseas is causing this to happen. But then when you go to the hardware store or the auto parts store and you buy a quart of oil, guess what? The price hasn't gone up.
What about former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene? Here's her message. It was all so easy, and Trump and Republicans just went and effed it all up. We voted to lower gas prices, inflation, cost of groceries and housing. We voted to hold people accountable for lawfare, deadly open borders, COVID crimes. We voted for no more foreign wars, no more regime change, and to stop paying for foreign wars. After a year, Trump starts a major war in Iran for Israel, destabilizing the Middle East, costing over $1 billion a day, driving up the cost of gas, and tragically killing innocent children they claim to be liberating. She goes on to say Trump betrayed his campaign promises. I won't vote for Democrats, but I sure as hell won't vote for a bunch of Republicans that lie. And for the love of God, why can't you useless politicians at least try to lower the cost of health insurance? Just try, but they won't. And all they do is fail because it is designed to fail. And then you have one by one, these MAGA Republican podcasters just rip on Donald Trump. Here's Jimmy Dore and Owen Schroyer. You can hear what they say. Play this clip.
And this is what somebody like me elected Trump to do. We wanted him to go in there and be an agent of change. And it turns out he was actually an agent of amplification. If anything, it seems like he's just now part of the establishment, part of the swamp, the king swamper now. So to me, it's just like, that's the ultimate betrayal. Most people can see it. Most honest people that were Trump supporters, I think, have come around and are faced to admit it now. I do think, too, a perfect example is they just had that vote. I'm sure you saw. They just had that vote of, I think it was Nancy Mace that had the bill to reveal the names that were part of that slush fund for sexual assault allegations and paying off the victims. Well, guess what? Congress voted against revealing those names. Go figure. Massively, too. It wasn't even close. So that's the kind of thing. It's like the swamp always looks out for the swamp.
You have Candace Owens saying that Donald Trump is a traitor and a coward. Play this clip.
I will reiterate my perspective that Trump allowing this to happen, allowing this to go forward, it makes him a traitor and it also makes him a coward. And you would do well to accept that fact. Okay, stop playing left or right. Stop saying it would have been different if Democrat was in office. Stop playing Republican or Democrat. Wake up. These people occupy both sides. And I believe very much that world wars are in effect global resets. That's why they always want them. They use propaganda to convince people to sign up for their own slaughter.
You've got this right-wing podcaster, Sneeko. Here's what he said. Play this clip.
The troops that just came back and they come wrapped in the American flag, Trump doesn't even take his hat off. This is a signal to all U.S. troops. Wait, I'm dying for Israel and you can't even show me respect and take off my hat when I'm in the coffin?
And I can keep showing you other clips, but I think you get the point right there of what's going on. Anyway, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.